everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. Today's video is another exciting one. It is an update in my Pan Those Eyeshadows project pan, and I have hit pan in another eyeshadow. Woohoo! Which is super exciting because I get to roll that one out. I get to add a pan to my eyeshadow spreadsheet, increase my pan percentage, and roll a new eyeshadow in. So that'll change up the little 5-pan grouping that I am currently focused on, which is always fun. If you're new to my channel, my name is Abby. I'm a wife and mom. A lot of what I do on this channel is really focused around my curated makeup collection. So I do a lot of project panning videos, I do empties, I do shop my stash. But I also have some things on my channel around cleaning and Sunday resets. I have some recipes, just, you know, life stuff in general that I like to share as well. So I would love for you to subscribe if you haven't already. So the Pan Those Eyeshadows project pan videos to both film and watch is probably my favorite, although I hate to say like it's my favorite because I feel like I say that about a lot of my videos. I just really love these. I think why I love them so much is the random factors. So I guess I should explain how this project works real quick, but basically I randomly select 5 pans of eyeshadow from my collection and then work on them until I hit pan. And so I think that random factor of the selection and really never knowing what your quintet of eyeshadows is gonna look like and how the colors will pair together, and then how you end up wearing them and you put things together that you never thought you'd put together, but then you end up liking it. I think that is like the most fun out of all of this, and kind of the random selection and seeing what you get. And then you also get to see like my genuine reaction of like, oh, that's gonna be a tough one to work on, or like I'm super excited about it. I don't know. I think all of that is super fun, and I hope all of you feel the same when watching my videos. I hope my energy is coming through the screen because I'm sitting here like, what color am I gonna get this time? But I gotta slow down because before we get there, we gotta talk about my numbers, because there is an update obviously because I have a new pan, and then also we gotta talk through all the 4 shades that are still in this project, and then we'll talk about the one I hit pan on, and then we will roll in a new shade. So buckle up, let's get the show on the road. So I haven't brought in any new eyeshadows. I haven't rolled any eyeshadows out of my collection, so my numbers for like total are still the same. So I have a total of 204 eyeshadows. 17 of them are singles, and 187 of those pans of eyeshadow are within 11 different palettes. I now have pan on 17 different eyeshadows, so that brings my pan percentage to 8.33%. And last time I had pan on 16 eyeshadows and my pan percentage was 7.84%. So woohoo, we are in a new percent of pan percentage, which is super exciting. I would love to get over 10% of pan percentage by the end of this year. I think that would be a really good goal to hit. So we gotta keep working through, and hopefully we can make it happen. And lastly, that brings our eligible eyeshadows to select from this month to 187. But before we get there, like I said, let's talk through the eyeshadows that I currently use this month and the ones that are still in the project. The first comes from the Alamar Cosmetics Spanglish palette. It is the shade Muy Excited. I used this shade 10 times this month, which actually I didn't use it a lot at the start of the month, and then I realized that I really enjoyed pairing it with the shade I hit pan on, so I'll show that soon. And once I hit pan on that shade, because that shade is more of a crease shade, so I just gave you guys a very good clue into which one I actually hit pan on. But anyway, when I hit pan on that one, I actually started using this shade as a crease shade. I'm wearing it as my crease shade today, and for the most part, it actually works quite well. In the pan, I feel like it looks super orange, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but like normally I would use like a shade like this as a crease shade, but I have been able to make this one work in a lot of cases. And if you use a light hand with it, I think that works the best. The next shade comes from my ColourPop So Jaded palette, and it is the shade called Sapphire. I actually rolled this in last month. I used this 4 times this month, so not a ton, but honestly, I feel like it's a tough one. It's a very dark blue in the pan, but comes up much brighter and lighter when you actually apply it. And so I have been trying to figure out how this one plays. So I wore this once, like in the inner and outer corner, and made a halo eye, and then I believe the other 3 times I just wore it all over the lid. And something that I realized with this one is it's actually quite patchy, so when I put it all over the lid, it doesn't look that great. I think maybe if I wet my brush, it would probably work better, but it kind of patches up. But someone had suggested, I guess in the comment section of my last video of these, of my last update, to layer a glitter on top of that, and that's exactly what I ended up doing. So I totally stole that idea, so thank you if you commented that. But I pulled out my ColourPop Super Shock Shadow in Frog, which is like an ultra glitter, and put that on top. So that actually worked wonders to smooth out the patchiness. I think it looks so much better once that's put on. And it also added like that extra layer. I think I'll totally use that idea in the future for tough shadows, but I've been able to make it work by layering the glitter. So again, thank you so much if you gave me that idea. And to see that in action, go check out my Project Pan video that I actually posted before this one. I'm actually wearing Moi Excited in my crease and then Sapphire all over my lid with the glitter layered on top. So definitely was able to make it work that way. Next is my Tati Beauty Volume 1 palette. I have been working on Memory Sequin. So it is this beautiful black shimmery shade. I've worn this one 7 times this month, and this is the shade that I'm definitely thinking that I'm going to try and wear 20 times and then roll it out, because I've worn it 7 times this month, and then in January I wore it 4 times, and I feel like it looks like I barely touched it. I've worn it a lot in the outer crease. Today I'm wearing it as liner. So it's just really slow going because a little bit goes a long way. I love the shade, but I just don't think hitting pan on it is in the foreseeable future. And so love that I'm getting usage out of it. Love that I'm diving into this palette more to use this. But I'm gonna try and use it 9 times this month and then hopefully be able to roll this one out. And then the last shade that is going to be sticking around again for this month's rotation comes from the Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette, and it is the shade right here called Crayon Apple. I do have a bit of a dip going on this one, which I'm really happy about. I wore this 4 times this month, and again, I'm wearing it today as my all over lid shade. I think it pairs really well with Moi Excited. I've been able to wear it a lot with Memory Sequin in the outer corner. I think I've mostly just worn this one all over the lid, although I think I definitely could wear this as a liner or potentially like in my outer V as just a shade to deepen up that, but I've very much enjoyed it all over the lid. I feel like it's a nice shade. It pairs well with my eye color, and we've been able to make it work that way. And I'm happy to say that there is a dent in this shade. So we're gonna continue working through that and hopefully be able to hit pan by the end of the year. And I say the end of the year because I think this is just gonna be a slow moving one. I've only worn it 4 times this month, and I feel like a little bit just goes a very long way. Alrighty, so now to the good stuff, right? I hit pan on my next shade. So this is my Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette volume 2. I hit pan on Perfectionist right here. I wore this a ton in my crease, and I also wore this all over the lid and then put Moi Excited a lot into my outer corner. I wore this 15 times this month to hit pan. I wore it 6 times last month, so total 21 times to hit pan on this shade. So super excited. Love getting a crease shade in these projects because you can usually count on those to hit pan pretty soon. That is what's going on. Pan, no pan, still working on these. And now we are going to roll in our newest shade. Okay, so I have rows 22 through 208 in here because that matches up with my spreadsheet, and now I'm going to pick a shade. Looks like we landed on 190. Oh boy. So we're rolling back in the palette we just rolled out, and we are rolling in the shade Positivity, which is a bright ass coral. Sorry for my language, but it is. Holy smokes. That is an interesting one. This quintet is not boring. That is for sure. I have no idea what the looks are gonna be with this grouping, or how the heck I'm gonna hit pan on any or all of these, but we're gonna figure it out because that's the fun of this project. I mean, I literally kicked off this video by saying how fun it is picking random shades, and it's fun and it's challenging, right? And that's why we do it. So positivity, that is gonna be the mantra. We are gonna be positive about hitting some pan on these. So what I think I'm gonna do, which is different than what I've done in the past, is I'm gonna end this part of the video here, but we are going to transition very quickly, like that, into the next part of the video, which is going to be a little get ready with me trying to use all 5 of these shades. Which now, thinking about it, I'm like, was that a good idea? Because I feel like that's definitely gonna be a challenge, but you know, we'll figure out a way to make it work because we gotta do it. So that is what you're gonna see next. So I hope you enjoyed at least this part of the video, and I'll see you in 2 seconds. And just like that, I am back, and I'm going to do my eye makeup with my new quintet of shadows. I have already primed my eyelids, so I am ready to go. I have my mirror down here, so if you see me looking down there, that is what I'm looking at. So let's dive into it. I think I'm gonna start with Muy Excited and put that into my crease. And I don't have any other makeup on yet because I want to make sure that I can kind of clean up as I need to, because I have no idea what I'm doing with this look, because I have no idea how all of these colors are going to come together. Okay, 1 down, 4 to go. And it's only going to get harder. So I'm going to go into my Morphe Volume 2 Jaclyn Hill palette and pick up the shade Positivity on this flat shader brush. And I think I'm gonna try and do this in the inner corner. And then I think the next step would be just like blending this up into the crease. Next, I'm gonna go into my Morphe Volume 1 Jaclyn Hill palette and pick up the shade right here called Cran Apple. I'm gonna put this on the outer half of my eye and blend it into that Positivity shade. Normally I wet my brush for this one, but I don't know if I'm gonna do that today. We'll see how this goes. But actually, those 2 shades blended into each other a lot smoother than I thought they would. So I'm gonna go back into Positivity a little bit and just do a little bit more on top of that blend. And then I'm gonna jump back in to Muy Excited and just do a lot more blending. Okay, so I'm not mad at how this is kind of coming together so far. I think I'm just going to use my Tati Beauty Memory Sequin shade as a liner on the top lash line. I'm gonna be messy with my wing because I think I'm just gonna clean this up with a Q-tip then after. Liner is on, so now I'm gonna take a Q-tip and just clean the edges up. The last shade I have to use comes from my ColourPop So Jaded palette, and it is the shade Sapphire, which I think honestly is the hardest one because it looks like a really dark blue, but it is not. It's more of like a light blue. I think I'm going to use that on my lower lash line, but first I'm going to put down an eyeliner in my waterline. So this is the NYX Golden Bronze liner. I am gonna put on the rest of my makeup and I'll be right back. So this is the final eye look that I came up with using all of the shades that I picked out for my Pan Those Eyeshadows project. I hope you guys liked it. This is obviously not my favorite look of all time. I feel like the colors don't necessarily work perfectly together, but I wanted to see if I could push myself to come up with something that I didn't hate, which I don't hate this look for sure. So that's great. I don't think I'll be using them all together very often, if ever again, but you never know. And honestly, it was just really fun to do this little bit of a challenge. So I hope you all enjoyed this video, getting to see the shade that I rolled out, the new shade I rolled in, and the look that I created. So if you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I will catch you in my next one. Bye.